All right, how's everyone doing? It's Thursday, June the 29th, the year 2017. I've just finished reading Rise of the Warrior Cop by Radley Balko. It was recommended to me by a political prisoner named Jason Patrick. And so please keep Jason Patrick in your prayers. I hope you guys are writing him letters. I try to write him at least once a week. Anyway, this book talks about the proliferation of SWAT teams across America and how one police department would get a, armored patrol vehicle or, a bunch of bulletproof vest or whatever they get, right? There's all kinds of police stuff that they get through federal grants in order to militarize the police departments. And when one police department got it, the other police department would feel like, hey, they're not fully prepared, and so they would get it. So it's turned into like a little arms race all over America for all the police departments getting federal grants for all of these military weaponization that's gone to our police force. Well, anyway, it also talks about how there's no transparency when the judges grant warrants, right? Because they have to go to the judge to get a warrant, and it's just become a rubber stamp, and there's no transparency. So there's judges that never say no to a warrant in 20 years. They don't ask any questions. They just rubber stamp the warrant. And so in order to have probable cause for the militarized police forces, all you got to do is call the police department and tell, I think I might have saw them spank their child, and that's, child abuse. Or I think I might have saw a roach clip in an ashtray when I was bringing over some banana nut bread, cake or bread or whatever. All you got to do is just say something, and then the police, any evil policemen in the police force that don't have any discernment, will have an excuse. They'll have probable cause. They get the warrant from the judge. They always rubber stamp it. There's no judges that ask any questions anymore. And so they can bust down your door, and more than likely they'll shoot your dog. And many times they kill the residents of the home, and they don't even track how many times they go to the wrong home. So there's no transparency on the judges. So we don't know which judges are rubber stamping warrants because it's simply not public knowledge. We also don't know how many times they go to the wrong home, and many times they do kill the residents. and they kill the dogs. And so I'm just saying, people like Robert Beatty and people like Jim Lott and people like, my enemies, they have been calling my work for months and months. And they finally, I believe they finally, had a hand in getting me laid off. Now, they'll love hearing me say that. They'll just bathe in their own glee that they caused me to lose my job. But what they meant for evil, God will use for good. But I believe they're also calling the Department of Justice, Stephen Scrocky, and they're also calling my local law enforcement officials in my town, and they're reporting all kinds of stuff. He's got, he's anti-government, and he probably has illegal weapons, and I think he smokes dope, and he probably abuses Aaron. There's no telling what they say. And so these cops get enough of these phone calls, and, they can be anonymous, right? And they just think, well, maybe there is something going on in Rudy's house. Let's get a warrant, and let's go break into his house. Next thing you know, they've shot Luke, right? And they've probably killed me. That's how you can kill your neighbor, using the police. And the evil guys know that. And because our police have gotten so far away from any discernment or so far away from any biblical values, the bad guys know how to work the strings of the system. The good guys would never do that. We don't call the cops on our neighbors for every little thing, right? We respect and love our neighbor, but the bad guys don't play by our rules. So I'm just saying, be aware. I want this to be a public video so that if anything happens in the future, I think I have evidence to believe that they're calling every institution they can. I believe they probably had something to do with me getting shut down from Russell. They probably have something to do with, reporting into any prisoners I'm trying to help. And, they seem to have the upper hand when it comes to the police force because the police force is so corrupt, and Jim Lott and Robert Beatty and their cronies are so corrupt, right? And so they just get along really well, and if you're a good guy just trying to do good things, you're kind of outnumbered. But we do have the truth, and there's nothing more powerful than the truth, and we also serve a mighty living God, and we also operate in a life that's absent wholeheartedly of fear. We don't operate in fear. So anyway, just want to share that thought with you guys. Keep it in mind as we go forward in this fight. God bless and take care.